Good evening and welcome to the Head Coach Joel Taylor Show here at Jefferson's of Carrollton. I'm Patrick Edson, and I'm with Head Coach Joel Taylor. Put your hands together, everybody. Coach, I was talking to Jared before the show, and I said, Jared, I just don't even want to talk about last Saturday. But I know that you're not going to let that happen because you, quote, what you told me this morning, I don't run for the smoke, Patrick. That's what you told me. So we will talk about Saturday's game. Just a tough road loss. What are you thinking at the moment?
At the moment, I'm thinking about Central Arkansas.
Oh, I know that, but about Saturday.
Yeah. I want to forget Saturday. Wasn't a good day for the Mighty Wolves, man. We did not play well. It's probably the worst we played since I've been the coach here. And why did that happen? I have no idea. I don't think it was the plane trip. I don't think it was their crowd. We just didn't play well. And give them credit, they did. They created some turnovers. Got us dang on, back it up a little bit, and then we couldn't come back in the second half, and we felt like we could come back in the second half because we know that first half, we're down 24-0. We throw an interception the first series we're out there, and then we're moving the ball. We ought to get sacked, get outside of field goal range, or we got a good run and we fumble the ball. So it was like, man, we can't do nothing right,
Yeah.
And that was so unfortunate there. And then, like I said, we go back in the locker room, and every kid believed that we were gonna come back and win that game. First off, I appreciate my kids. Like I said, they are a resilient bunch. And then they kicked the daggone ball off, and they didn't even mean to. Just kind of squibbing it to get away from Dre.
Right.
And that thing was like a hot potato. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we couldn't get it. But you got a chance to see our defense step up as well. They got it in good field goal. I think it was in field goal range actually, and we got them out of there with a sack. And we played well. And then the fourth quarter hit, man. I was like, man, the fourth quarter is probably the worst quarter of my life. They actually had 220 yards in the fourth quarter. That was crazy, right? But we give up the dang on bomb. It was a cover two. Safety doesn't get over, and that's 75 yards, man. And that's the one that kind of just that was the blow right there. And then they tacked on another score, and then it was like, man, it's 45 to dang on 10, and I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
But you can't play. A top 5, top 3 team and make those mistakes,
Yeah, those sins that you've been talking about all season, those
no
self-inflicted negatives.
Yep.
You had 4 turnovers,
Yep.
6 penalties,
Yep.
and a partridge and a pear tree, right?
Well, it was actually 5 turnovers.
5 turnovers, my bad.
And if you want to count the kickoff deal, that's 6.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Because we had a block punt, too,
I'm going to start asking you the difference. My goodness. I asked you in the press conference yesterday, if you felt like your team on the offensive side of the football is really just struggling to find their rhythm. You did run the football with some success on Saturday. David Widener back from injury. The team ran for almost 200 yards. I think it was 187 combined. Mm-hmm. That's where you guys live, right? And that's where you want to be. But right now, just on Saturday at least, it felt like the rhythm, you just couldn't find that rhythm that you guys have consistently played with over the last 7-8 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a factor of a couple things. The first thing is we got to play better on defense.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about defense, right?
Right.
We got to play better on defense, man. We got to give our offense the ball back in better field position. Then offensively, man, we got to do a great job of running the ball. Of course, I feel like, we moved the ball a little bit as far as in the run game, but we got to be better because when you move the ball in the run game, now the pass game opens up.
Right.
And then we got to do a better job of protecting Davin. There's so many times, Davin has his first read and he's trying to get to his second read, and all of a sudden now he got to move, he got to get out the way, or he got to scramble. And that's not what you want.
Right.
We want Davin to be confident in the pocket. So, we got to be better there, on the offensive line. But we got to help the offensive line. We got to have some 6-man pro, some 7-man pro, and also get some, some routes that open up a little earlier. maybe get down out the pocket or some of that nature, man. So we gotta help those guys. But I think that's part of the reason we kind of stalled a little bit. But I think we had really 2 good days of practice, man. I tell you, we probably had 2 of the better days of the year of practice. And I say that because, like I said, we got a resilient bunch, right? You never know how our young men are going to respond sometimes, especially after losing the third one, a game that we felt like we could win, and then we lost a game that we should have won, and then we gave a game away. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I told our guys, man, at the end of the day, man, like, you wake up every day, you go to work, right? And sometimes it just seems like it's just repetitive, right? I'm just doing this, I'm doing this, but sometimes we forget why we're doing it, right? I think as a football team, we're going through our process. Whatever that process is, we're going through our process, and I think that's so important. And throughout the process, you grow, you learn, you get better, and right now we're just part of our process. Now we got to get back to the process of winning.
Right, yeah, right. And speaking of that, you mentioned that one of your team goals this season was to double the amount of wins from a season ago.
Yeah.
That goal is still in front and attainable for your team.
It is. And, our guys were down, of course, just right, because right now we can't make the playoffs.
Right.
So our Super Bowl is to win the UAC.
Right.
But at the end of the day, part of our process is to continue to grow, and part of that growth process is first to get a winning season, then second, try to get 8 wins. But we got to go 1-0 this game.
That's right.
To have an opportunity to do that. So, we won't, we'll worry about that later. We want to put all of our energy and focus on Central Arkansas and not forget about, but learn from, Saturday, and then put that, chew it up, spit it out, and get ready for the next opponent.
Speaking of the run game and protecting the quarterback, next up on the Joel Taylor Show, we will have senior Sam Regina here on the porch at Jefferson. So stay right here as you're watching the Joel Taylor Show live from Jefferson's in Carrollton. Welcome back to the Joel Taylor Show here at Jefferson's of Carrollton. Patrick Edson, and with me for this second segment is senior offensive lineman Sam Regina. Sam, welcome to the program. And Sam, you have a really unique story on your journey here to UWG. I think I read recently that at one point, as you were finishing high school, you thought, I may not even go to college.
Correct, yes, sir. Right as COVID kind of started to hit, and that was my senior year of high school, the world was shutting down. I really decided I kind of wanted to go make some money, and I was going to go pour concrete for $22 an hour, and that was going to be my blue-collar journey. And then I talked to some people over COVID. They said, just go for a semester. If you hate it, it's only a semester of time you wasted, and you can always come back to pour concrete. It'll be there when you come back.
Right. Yep. Sam, what's your major?
My undergrad, I double majored in business management and finance, and then I'm currently getting my MBA.
Oh, wonderful. All at the University of West Georgia. That's really, really great. What are your plans once you finish that degree?
Working somewhere in the finance world. Currently applying to some jobs, doing a couple interviews here and there. Just hoping to stick my foot in the door somewhere.
All right. So no desire to maybe go coach after you finish playing?
Not at the moment.
No,
sir. I've been playing.
Coach Taylor hasn't talked you into that.
He has not. No, sir.
Oh.
I've been playing since 2007.
Okay.
So
time to let it go. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. When some of my teammates are coming in, they're saying, "Yeah, I was born in 2007." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
that doesn't get any better as you get older, Sam. I promise you.
So.
Sam. You've had, like I said previously, you've had a unique journey. You've come back from a major back surgery. What was that process like for you, just working through that and still trying to maintain a college schedule?
Yeah, it was awful, to be blatantly honest. When I had my surgery, I really, truly debated on coming back to actually play anymore. It was a rough actual surgery process. I know Jared put out an article about it a little bit ago, and it was not great during the process, so it made my rehab process go a little bit longer than expected, and I had missed that whole 22 season, and I really debated on whether or not I wanted to come back. But being on the sidelines that year, kind of helping coach, almost being in an SA or /GA kind of role that semester, it made me understand truly how much I missed it when I didn't have it. So I without a doubt wanted to come back for my last couple of years and finish out something I started.
I believe right now you are second in consecutive starts on the team right now, behind Riley Mason. And so, that perseverance over the last 2.5 years has really paid off for you, but you've seen the adversity that comes along with that. How has that translated for you in dealing with that personal injury, but still persevering and finding your way back on the football field?
Yeah, it's definitely hard being able to see all your teammates go out there and do something you love, waking up every day, going to treatment, staying disciplined. I had a couple of teammates who actually had the same surgery I did, and they weren't able to come back and play. So just because of the sustained injuries over time, so I feel like me staying disciplined over and over, coming to treatment every single day, and taking my time getting back to play, not rushing anything, it really helped put me in the situation I am today.
Yeah, it was a really rare condition, right? One of maybe only 80 ever known. A cyst around your spinal cord, is that right?
Right. So when I had the surgery in May of 2022, I had an MRI done in February. So they said the cyst wasn't shown on the MRI, so they think it formed in between. But yeah, my surgery was supposed to take about 45 minutes. Ended up taking about 4 hours. The surgeon had to call the surgeon on call to come in and assist him with it. He told me after, he was like, I'm glad everything went well as a whole, but he's excited that when he opened me up, he saw that because he got to go write a medical journal about it.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Well, Sam, without a shadow of a doubt, you've been through the adversity, you've persevered, and that's going to be something that you can carry on after your football career is over and as you head into your professional journey. Congratulations to you, Sam, and when we get back, we will turn over the microphone to the floor as our fans here at Jefferson's will have the opportunity to grill Coach Taylor next here on The Joel Taylor Show. Welcome back to the Joel Taylor Show here on the back porch of Jefferson's here in Carrollton. Patrick Edson, head coach Joel Taylor. And now, before we get to the questions, I'd like to ask our fans to put their hands together for our wait staff here this evening, as they have been providing good service here at Jefferson's of Carrollton. And thanks again to Jefferson's. All right, fans, it's your turn to ask questions to head coach Joel Taylor. So let's see who. Oh, there we go. One already.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
I think we all kind of knew at the beginning of this season that this 3-game stretch that we've been on was probably going to be the toughest of our season. But it seems like the last 11 quarters we've been on kind of a sharp decline. It seems like we have been a different team than we were the first 5 games. Do you think that's kind of like this, maybe like a lingering lost hangover from the Austin Peay game, or is this something like a different kind of mentality shift that needs to happen with the players and the coaches to turn it around for the next 3 games?
I'm not sure, man. I think you can attribute it to a lot of things, All I know is we got to get better. And anytime your competition is better, you have to be better. And, facing Tarleton, facing Abilene, Abilene being the defending champions and Tarleton being ranked number 3 in the nation, those are good football teams. Even though, we went 5-0, we was playing really, really good. We faced some really good teams, and at the end of the day, I don't know if we were good enough, right? We definitely didn't play good enough, I can tell you that. I think we do have a lot of talent on our football team, and I don't think we played to our potential. What the reason for that is, have no idea. But all I know is we got to go to work on Monday. and we did to try to fix it and get better. But like I said, I think this is a process. I think it's a journey. We could be sitting here 8-0. We could be sitting here 0-8, right? But we're sitting here 5-3, and I feel good about that, especially year 2.
All right. Thank you for that question. In the very back goes Jared with the microphone.
My name is Jeremiah Hood. How do you get your team to buy in to the winning standard you have?
Yeah, I think that's a process, man. First, for me, as a leader, I got to do a great job of setting the vision, of our program. And I think our vision of our program, we want to be, the best program in the nation. That's what we strive to be. And then I got to do a great job of inspiring that, why will it work, and you can look back at my past. I've been very successful in every place I've been. But I think our young men, I think that's, part of recruiting as well. You want to bring around like-minded young men. But I think it's a daily process, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly process to continue to build our standard, but also, rise above it as well. But like I said, we got a good group, and it was a lot of butt kicking early on. But I think the kids have bought into what we're doing and how we're doing it. I think they have gelled as a team. I think that's a really, really good thing. But we just getting started, honestly. So we're gonna continue today and gonna raise the standard and get better each week.
Thank you. How you doing, Coach Taylor? My name is D'Angelo, and I am the grad assistant for Legacy League. Great work. I've met you when you first transitioned here to West Georgia, so it's been amazing to see your progress and the progression you and the team has made. So good job on that.
Appreciate it.
Tonight you mentioned the word process a couple times, and I liked that. And I wanted to relate that to career development, which you have a pretty impressive record as a head coach at D1 institutions from my research.
Yep.
So with our freshmen here from Legacy League, I would like you to offer them some advice on the process of their journey as it pertains to their career development.
There's no doubt. Today I sit here as the head coach, right? But it had to take a lot of work, right? A lot of adversity, a lot of soul searching. Honestly, I started this thing really not sure where I would end up. I started as a volunteer assistant, so I started at the bare bottom, not getting paid, just doing it for the love of the game. And, understood that, at the end of the day, I'm around good people, I'm learning. So I dove into the process, and that process has led me here, from South Carolina State to Lenore Ryan to the Citadel, and also Mercer. And I've met a lot of people, a lot of good people during the way. But during that process, the things that you learn are so valuable, and you don't know everything that you're learning is getting ready. You're getting ready to use that, once the time is near. I didn't aspire to be a head coach. That wasn't my ultimate goal, but I wanted to rise in profession. And, I was a volunteer assistant. I was a graduate assistant. I was a restricted earnings, became an outside linebackers coach, DB coach, pass game coordinator, defensive coordinator, and now head coach. So all of those roles that I had, I did it to the best of my ability, and I was always where my feet were. I think that's important as well. If you do a good job, everything else will handle itself, and that would be the advice I give you, man. Just do a great job wherever you're at, enjoy the process, and if you're doing everything the right way and you're busting your butt, like I said, everything will take care of itself.
Hey, Coach. Not a question, more of a statement. I know we've been tough sledding the past few weeks, but I think I speak for everybody when I say there's nobody we'd rather have at the helm than you, Coach.
Yeah, all right. I love it. And that's the truth.
I appreciate that. And you can see, the crowd, man. We got a great crowd here tonight.
Absolutely.
Guys have been supporting me ever since day one. We got the Legacy League back there, coming in supporting as well. We appreciate that. But, God, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. And like I said, when I first, stepped here, on Carrollton, on campus was it's about the we, it ain't about the me. And I think we got a great, support here in Carrollton, and just truly excited about our future.
All right. Couple more questions on the other side of the room.
Coach, can you give us an injury report?
Yeah. We're getting healthy.
I literally thought you were going to say, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
Nah. We're getting healthy, man. I think, we lost a couple guys. We lost our 2 backup corners early on. They won't come back, but we got some young kids, man. Y'all getting ready to see, man, that are special at the corner spot. We're starting to get a little bit healthier on the D-line. There's no, injury I can give you oh, man, we wish we had that guy. Guys are starting to come back, and hopefully, we can get through this week. We get through a bye week, and then, those last 2 games, man, we be about as 100% as we can be. But it's been rough sled now. You talk about, you played 8 straight games, getting ready to play a 9th straight game. My hat's off to our medical staff and our young people of, getting there and getting the recovery done. But injury-wise, we're starting to get healthy.
Coach, I know you can't name names, but how's recruiting going this fall?
Yeah, it's actually going pretty good. We're going to have an official visit this weekend. We'll have some guys that are already committed. And we'll have an official visit this weekend, our next home game, and then right after the season. So we're going to have 3 of those. Right now, not sure how many guys we're going to take. I'm thinking between 20 to 25 guys we'll probably take to add to our team. We'll probably take about 10, I would say 7 to 10 transfers. But we want to do a good job with the high school guys, man. And like I said, we live in the best state, football, in my opinion. Yep. And I know I'm going to catch some slack because I'm from South Carolina. And, for the bang for your buck in South Carolina, there's some good players there too. But, Georgia's in our backyard and got a lot of good players, and we're excited about them. And I think, for us, we are a developmental laboratory. We want to get the young guys in, develop them, and hopefully graduate them, and then they have an opportunity to, do whatever after that, man. But recruiting is going well. We're still, like I said, we're still looking. We don't know who's going to be in the portal. And then also, we're looking at some JUCO guys as well. But I think our class right now, as far as high school guys, I think we probably got about maybe 8 to 9, maybe 10 committed guys right now, and just excited about those kids.
All right. One last call for questions. And I don't see any more hands, so I'll tell you what, fans, we will take another commercial break, and when we get back, we will preview this Saturday's homecoming opponent, the Central Arkansas Bears, next on The Joel Taylor Show. All right, fans, welcome back here to the Joel Taylor Show on the porch at Jefferson's of Carrollton. Hey, let's give one more round of applause to our wait staff tonight. Thank you very much for the great service, as always, here at Jefferson's. And Coach Taylor, let's hop right on into the preview. Saturday, homecoming, 2 o'clock here at University Stadium. Everyone on this porch should be there, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. And Coach, another opportunity to go 1-0.
Yeah, it's exciting. Anytime we get a chance to play home, it's exciting, and then it's homecoming. So we'll have a lot of people on campus, a lot of energy, passion, and it'll be a lot of for some people the first time they see us play this year. So we're definitely excited about that, and I think we're playing a really good opponent. Last year's game was a nail biter. Yep. It was a shootout. They beat us by 1 point. We went for 2 at the end, and if my man didn't slip, I thought it was a great play. And so we're excited about that opportunity to face them again. Now it's at home, and like I said, man, I think they're a good football team.
They're coming off a bye week. They've won 2 straight. They're 2-1 in the UAC. Coach Nathan Brown has a really good running back, and Landon Chambers. He's run for 4 straight 100-yard games, and I had an opportunity to talk to him today, and he's feeling pretty good about his football team, but he also respects you and your team as well.
Yeah. Coach Brown's awesome, man. He's a really good dude, really good ball coach. And yeah, I got a chance to see that last year, man. And the one thing, last year and this year, the one thing I know he wants to do is run that football.
Yeah.
So we got to do a great job of, stopping the run. But he also likes to play action pass off of it. I think he got, 3 good receivers that goes up and makes some plays on some balls. So we got to do a great job at the corner spot and safety spot and staying on top of the deep balls. But the running back, he was there last year as well. And he had 2 studs last year. Man, that other kid, the Powell kid, oh, man. I had nightmares, man. But this kid is pretty good as well, man. He's a different style of running back. He kind of reminds me of TJ a little bit. TJ Lester, man, really has good vision, balance, good feet, and finishes runs, man. So we got our work cut out for us. Offensive line-wise, I think they got, 2 all-conference kids on the offensive line. Now, they're not going to look like the boys at Texas. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think they're, a solid bunch, man, a scrappy bunch. So it'll be a good matchup, for our defense. But like I said, at the end of the day, we got to play better on defense, and we got to stop the run. And then, like I said, man, we got to stay with that dang on deep ball. So we've been working our butts off, and I look forward to facing them as far as on the offense side of the ball that game. And then defensively, I think they do some good things as well. They're going to add, they're going to put Naaman in the box. They're a too high outfit, so they're going to try to stop our run. And if I was anybody else, I'd try to stop my run. I'd stop my run too.
Right.
So they're going to try to do that. They got some solid players on all levels, man. So it should be a really good game. It should be.
Well, Coach, any final thoughts before we get out of here tonight?
I think the only final thought is, like I said, our guys have been working out their butts off. Like I said, these last 2 practices, man, I think, we probably had our, best 2 practices of the year. So I'm excited to see our team play. We still haven't put everything together yet. And like I said, when we do, man, it's going to be, exciting, electric, and hopefully it's going to be this week.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks once again for being with us here tonight at Jefferson's of Carrollton. If you can't be at University Stadium on Saturday, shame on you. But if you can't, you have a couple of different ways that you can catch all the action on Saturday beginning at 2 o'clock. Myself and Parker Gore will have the call on ESPN+. You can also listen to a couple of streaming opportunities through the UWG Game Day app and on the UWG Athletics website, or you can listen to all the action on Granite Communications KISS 102.7 with Seth Kane and Nick White. So for Coach Taylor, I'm Patrick Edson saying good night and thanks for watching The Joel Taylor Show.